We all get told from the time we're born that we gotta find love, that one true love.
Hi, I'm Debra Barsha, the composer and co-lyricist of Radiant Baby.
Hi, I'm Stuart Ross, the book writer and co-lyricist of Radiant Baby, the Keith Haring Musical.
Hi, I'm Lena Hall. I was in the original production of Radiant Baby at the Public Theater, and I'm so happy to be here.
Hi, I'm Stephen Brackett. I'll be directing the new production of Radiant Baby at Two River Theater in Red Bank, New Jersey. So the first song that we're gonna do for you all is Flavor of the Week, which is our Act 2 opening number, which chronicles Keith's rise to fame after people start really recognizing his work on the subways.
2, 3, 4, 1.
He's an overnight sensation. He's the darling of the day. He's a cause for celebration. He's on track and on his way. He's a thrilling combination. He is totally unique. He's the latest revelation. He's the flavor of the week. Suddenly everyone knows his name. Here comes fortune and fame, unrelenting acclaim. Each people-friendly scribble shows his talent and technique. So the art world starts to nibble at the flavor of the week. He's the first graffiti artist who has made graffiti chic. Every Tom and Dick are just begging for a lick of the flavor of the week. Yesterday he didn't even exist. Now he's top of the list. Not a photo missed. He never knew he knew so many people. He never knew he had so many friends. The line of patrons never ceases. The line of bullshit never ends. All the paparazzi's popping, and his praise is at its peak. Now that he has been embraced, he won't ever lose his taste for the flavor of the week. He's the flavor of the flavor of the flavor of the week.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, this is Debra Barsha.
And this is Stuart Ross.
Yes.
Welcome to Radiant Baby selections from the musical Radiant Baby at the Fenimore Art Museum with an exhibit entitled Radiant Vision. I am the composer of Radiant Baby, and I co-wrote the lyrics with Stuart Ross, and Stuart
Wrote the book to Radiant Baby.
and co-wrote the lyrics.
Co-wrote the lyrics with Ira Gassman, based on John Gruen's authorized
Biography of Keith Haring. So here's what happened. In 19 something or other, and I don't even remember back when, I was given the first lyric to this by Ira Gassman, who has left us, unfortunately, on this planet. And he had just seen John Gruen read the authorized biography of Keith Haring. And he said, wouldn't this be a great, great, amazing musical? I need to find a composer. Someone recommended me to him, someone who was very near and dear to me named Joe Layton, who was a Broadway director. And I wrote a couple of songs. And from then on, I got hired to do the project and was around when Keith's chalk drawings were popping up in the subway. And so I totally experienced that and was completely familiar with that. And I just felt like it was something that was part of my life, dancing and writing. And that's all I did in the period of 80s. It was a very wild and crazy time until the horrible pandemic hit us. Not the pandemic that we're in now, but back then. But Keith was an activist, and that's what really attracted me to this project. He used his diagnosis for his activism for the whole community. It wasn't just about himself. And That was something that was very important to me, as well as New York in the 80s and the incredible music that was all around us. Then we needed a great book writer and co-lyricist, so Stuart was brought on. And you want to take it from there?
I'll take it from here. Yeah, I was happily brought on, and we clicked right away, realizing that this couldn't be a normal musical treated in a normal musical fashion. It had to be reflective of the period and give a sense of the period and the anarchistic, rebellious, joyous, ironic, witty, intelligent look at the art world and about people in the art world and people looking at art, and that art is for everybody. It's not just limited to museums and the art establishment, and Keith represented that. I was fortunate enough to be a waiter and a busboy in the discos and clubs when Keith went. So I got to serve him drinks, and then I was just thrilled to know the foundation and really get involved in the music. I had been involved with off-Broadway and the development of alternative theater in the 70s and 80s, and this was really dear to me to be able to find a new way to approach creating a new musical, and we were fortunate enough to be able to do the show the first time at the incredible Public Theater down on Lafayette Street in New York, near where Keith lived and his studio was and where he opened the pop shop. And so everything was a confluence of all these great events happening at the same time. And Debra and I just clicked, and we just wrote it kind of, not in a stupor, but we wrote it kind of very fluidly, and it just, you know, we loved it, and we just loved writing it, and we're so thrilled to get to do the show again. We're going to be doing the show this spring at Two River Theater in New Jersey, and I believe there's a website, and tickets go on sale tomorrow.
I also wanted to say that Stuart and I agreed on one important thing, which is that if you're going to do a musical about Keith Haring's life, you have to do it like a musical installation, like an installation of a musical.
So it's like you're following his art as the main thrust and the star of the show as the show builds around it, and you see where the art came out of his energy, his love, and his need to give back to the people that he believed people who were watching the art were as important as him doing the art.
Yes. And also his work with children is just so amazing, because he really wanted kids to have that experience, that you don't have to go to a museum. You know, you can just have art anywhere. Art is everything. Art for the people. That was just another
your
incredible.
life art.
Make your life art, art your life.
And his belief in the line, that the line came before you were here, and the line lives through your life, and the line passes on, and you don't die, because your art is there.
Yeah, one thing I love that, to take that on, when I first learned that Keith never looked back at his paintings, he just drew, and he never looked back for perspective on murals. And that, when you see his giant murals and realized he never walked back to look at them until the end, his sense of perspective and the line is just really amazing, literally and metaphorically.
And he stood so close. He was nose to nose with the canvas or
the mural,
the tarp or the wall, and everything he did. And his just instincts, he let it. It was mind to hand flow, as I think it's quoted in one of his books.
I would love to have an incredible conversation further with two people who are here today.
Who we love,
and who will be performing selections from the show. One person specifically. We would like to bring on our director, Stephen Brackett, and we would like to bring on our person who's going to be singing, Lena Hall, who won a Tony for Hedwig
and the Angry Inch.
Right, and Stephen just directed the Pulitzer Prize winning show of last year, A Strange Loop. One of the great things that I love is that Lena Hall was in this show 18 years ago. Lena, what was your first experience of being in this show?
It was the audition. I can remember the audition so well. In fact, the song that was played for audition to learn hip hop. So I'm like a ballerina, and jazz, a tap, whatever. And I could mimic really any style. And so in the audition, it was Fatima Robinson. I can't remember her assistant's name, but it was a Missy Elliott song, like "Can You Work It?" That one, and it was like, and we heard it on repeat, and we would do the dance number over and over again. And I thought for sure I wasn't going to get the job because, like, I don't know, I wasn't funky.
Did they have you dance first?
I remember dancing first, and then I remember singing later, and I think I was kind of the choice because I looked like Cyndi Lauper at the time.
Well, also, we had to use dancers who could sing, and then there was so much acting and ensemble character creating that it was a thrill to hear you sing, and then, oh my God, she could act, and she could pass Fatima Robinson's dance test.
Yeah.
That's what they call a triple threat.
That's what they call triple
Wow.
threat.
Yeah.
I did have, experience in high school. We took Afro-Haitian class, so had some funk in there. But it was great because we had to learn how to break dance as well. Because for Keith, a lot of the underground, the street art, and hip hop and rap, and all that was happening around him, and he was a part of it.
Right.
So, which is not something that you would maybe have expected from how he looks. He always looked. With his hair, and he looked very.
He could have been on The
straightly.
Big Bang Theory.
Yeah, exactly. And but he was very much in the scene, and, and that was super cool because it was fun to kind of play all of the different characters from all of the different areas that he was in. So
You had to do Cyndi Lauper and
Madonna.
Madonna, Cyndi Lauper had to be like a chic,
Art critic or
heroin chic thing, some weird,
and
you know what I mean?
Performance artist. There was that scene.
Yeah. And then we had to do hip hop and breakdancing and just everything. So it was really fun.
Was it your first big musical?
No, I had done Cats on Broadway,
Okay.
and then
Oh, I forgot about that.
Wait,
I
I forgot about
didn't.
that. Which cat were you?
I was Demeter.
You were what?
Demeter.
Demeter.
Yeah.
Lovely
So
Demeter.
yeah, I did Cats on Broadway. I did a national tour, and then I was back, and I was auditioning for 42nd Street on Broadway, and this at the same time. Wow. And with 42nd Street, it was for an ensemble role, and then I booked both of them at the same time, and I decided to do Radiant Baby instead because I was more interested in this kind of work. It spoke to me more.
Yeah.
And so I turned down 42nd Street, and then. But that was fine because literally right when we closed, we closed early because of the time, right? Didn't it?
No,
when
we got
did it-
extended a week.
We did? Okay. I don't remember. Because I remember when we opened the show, it was such a beautiful show and it was so touching. But at the time, we had just gone to war and it was a time when people did not want to face the AIDS crisis and see that.
Yes.
They wanted to see fluff. They wanted to see
Right.
42nd Street. They wanted to see spectacle.
Right.
And they did not want to be faced with such, a difficult time and look back on that yet.
That's right.
And so it was before its time.
Right.
It was too soon
And
for
the
it.
show wore its heart pretty close to
Yeah,
its
yeah,
sleeve, and we said what we had to say.
Yeah, and it was really, I remember it being just such a beautiful moment in my career, and then literally right when it closed, 42nd Street was like, hey, you want to come in for this principal role? And I was like, yeah, sure. Okay.
Amazing.
And then I booked that, and then I did that right after. But
Wow.
Amazing.
so it was lucky my choice was right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess any choice is right,
Sure.
but
As long as you make the choice.
yeah, as long as you make the choice. But this show is something really magical. And I remember when we were doing it, rehearsing it in the beginning, it was before they announced we were going to war. It was before that really heavy moment. We were all so sure, it's going to Broadway. We're going to Broadway! I mean, that's how it felt. And all the reviews were that.
Right.
I was looking at the reviews. And then it was unfortunate that this happened because I think it cut its life down short.
Sure.
So I still think it has that path there. I still think it's an important story to tell, and it's an important story to tell to the masses. It's just a matter of timing and when the masses are ready for a story like this that has to deal with a pandemic like AIDS.
Right.
It's a very heavy thing to deal with. A lot of people were lost. I remember my mom saw it my mom and dad had lost a ton of friends to AIDS, and when they saw the show, it was just, it hit them so hard.
Yeah.
You know, and they absolutely loved it. So, so I think, you know, it was unfortunate what happened.
It was a tough time. I remember
Yeah.
remember being in New York at that time, and it just was not a moment for theater, right? One assumes that in those moments we want to turn to art, right? But it really felt really like a tricky time to be debuting a new piece, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the year of Hairspray.
Right, right,
Avenue Q.
right.
It's, people wanted to just forget about it.
That's right.
Yeah.
The next song Lena will be singing is If It Can't Be Love, which is the song sung by Keith and his first lover when they have their first date together. And Keith had been waiting a long time to have somebody he really cared about.
We all get told from the time we're born that we gotta find love, that one true love that's meant for you, only you. So you search each day to be swept away for eternity, and your life goes on and on. Love means always, love means true. Love gives light to all you do. But if it can't be love, ooh, it better be good. If it can't be love, like it really should. If it can't be love, ooh, it better be right. Let it be tonight. If it can't be love, I'm not saying that love is something that can't be found. If you hunt around, if you hunt around, all around, if you're willing to get through the sweat and pain, go ahead and try for that lover's high. Go and try. And if you find it, your life will shine. But if you don't, you'll be just fine. 'Cause if it can't be love, ooh, it better be good. If it can't be love, like it really should. If it can't be love, oh, it better be right. Let it be tonight. If it can't be love, 'cause no matter if anyone gives you a lifetime of advice, you're gonna do what you're gonna do, so you might as well feel nice. So if it can't be love, it better be good. And if it can't be can't be love, ooh, it better be right. Better make it right. Better make it right. Let it be tonight. Let it be tonight. If it can't be love. If it can't be love. If it can't be love. If it can't be love.
Thank you, Lena, first
Yeah,
of all.
beautiful.
That, I never heard your perspective on all this, and it really meant a lot to hear it. Yeah, really meant a lot. I know, being a queer woman, like, that was also the subject matter was really important to me because I was coming out in the 80s, and it was just something I could relate to. You know, this story and it being a queer story too of our lives. And I just wondered, when we came to you and you were excited to do it, what was it that you were excited about exactly?
Yeah, I mean, I think before I even really knew the material very well, I was excited about the idea of a Keith Haring musical, right? I was excited about his story. I was excited about the short amount of time in which somebody made such a huge impact on not only the art world, but the world at large. And I like really working on queer stories. It's sort of a through line of a lot of my work. And so I remember when I got the call to have a meeting with you guys, I was like, yes, how do we make this happen? How do we and then it was just such a gift when I started going through the material as well, because there's such an amazing interplay between your like unbelievable music and this like expressive sort of like joy bomb music that feels completely original but also very like deeply rooted in the time. And I'd be curious to hear you talk a little bit about how you funneled your experience of the 80s into the music and make it feel like it does. But the juxtaposition of that along with Stuart's like undeniable wit and charm just made it really sort of lift off the page. And so I got really excited about working on it with you guys and really like uncovering the amazing work that you did in there and making that kind of come center as much as possible.
Wow. That's great. Yeah, I was very attracted to Stuart's wit because he did Forever Plaid, which was, you know, as we all know, was so funny and witty and like amazing. But I did want to capture something which Stuart got right away that we both experienced when you're dancing in clubs in the 80s, the kind of chanting that went on. So
that was part of it. The audience.
That was part of the audience.
The dancers, the audience, was part of the singing, and you sang along with it, and you got carried on this wave of excitement. As you get carried away on the wave of like a lot of the energy that's in Keith's paintings, and you start seeing this.
Yeah.
And he was bringing that to the subways, and then he took it far beyond, and then he started to do it for social causes, to contribute to the world in everything he did. And no established artist ever did that.
Right.
He couldn't paint without music. That was a big thing for me. That he said, I need a beat, I need music to paint. That is like amazing. Like a lot of painters have to be in silence, or they have to be this, and he was just like, I have to have music all the time. I want to be dancing. Painting and dancing, you know, that to me like, oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
It felt like it represented your world and your experience.
Yes.
Too.
Yes.
Yeah.
I coming to New York and playing the piano bars is where I started. The piano bars. But I was kind of soaking up that sound from the 80s.
Yeah.
I was soaking it up, and I was in clubs, and I was doing that. So I just thought, write what you know. I mean, and with that subject matter, I'm just like, I'm an 80s girl. That's me. So and then when Stuart came in and started to think completely out of the box, and Stuart is much more well-versed in musical theater than I am. And then went way out, knew what the rules of musical theater were, but we said, let's break the rules. But let's still get the structure across. That is why I think he clicked.
There's a heritage of being in a theater which is a ritual. You know, and Keith appreciated rituals and totems and symbols, and we tried to respect that in the show by leading the audience along a path. Maybe it was a new path, but working really hard to just hone it so that they were getting that this is more than just a dance art party world of the 80s, and it has its roots in a true expression for survival.
Yeah.
Yes,
Express and you can survive.
One of the reasons Lena played Madonna in the show is because Keith's best friend was Madonna. It wasn't like we were trying to show something that wasn't related to Keith. I mean, Keith and Madonna, he painted Madonna's jacket, which is a whole thing. And
they crashed together at the same lofts and apartments. And
there's something so primal about Keith's work, right? And so elemental, right? That it feels like it carries like the history of the world expressed through art, but manages also to be a time capsule of the moment that it was expressed in, right?
Yep.
And so it feels like you guys are also like working to kind of uncover that in the musical.
And we're trying to do it in not an unconscious way, but just let it happen as Keith did. I don't think he was trying to be pretentious. His hand just moved, and he knew it so much in his heart.
Yeah.
And he let it flow, and it was great. And there was a lot of partying and laughing. And he celebrated the hard thing, and he had written in his journals or in some of the books about expressing joy through sickness and through the pandemic and through the struggles, being able to, not let the kids believe that life is about just the struggle.
Yeah.
Yes.
And when something big happened, like Michael Stewart getting shot by the cops for doing graffiti, I mean, the world stopped. He had to take care of that.
Right.
His world, yes, we have to deal with these things. And now let's go back and have a party for life.
Yeah.
And it was all part of that. It was really cool.
And
So grateful. I'm so grateful to be working on this.
Yeah, and that certainly has been sort of at the heart of the work that we've been trying to do on the musical, is how to uncover that joy in conflict and pain.
And
right?
it's a new version, or a newish version. We want to, just address, issues that are, maybe we couldn't address back
Sure.
18 years ago.
yeah.
So we just want to address a few of those and make the story as clear as possible.
There you go.
And it's joyous.
This last song is called Draw Me a Door, and it's sung by Keith Haring, and it's at the pinnacle of the end of the show. And it's basically, he is deciding whether or not to announce his diagnosis, and he also makes the decision that he's going to live his life and produce as much artwork as possible for the rest of the time that he has on this earth.
I gotta move. I gotta draw something. I gotta beat this need to stay still. I can't erase the face of the future. Where's the drug, the party, the pill? So I'm not good at dealing with people. So I've lost the skill for coping alone. Okay, I'm stuck, I'm blocked, yeah, I'm frozen. Asking for help, I've never known. Tell me, how do you go forward when your heart is going back? Tell me, how can you draw colors when your future's painted black? The pain is too slow. How can I show all that I am, all that I know? Draw new world, draw new heart, draw new end, draw new start. Even though it's been around me, I thought I'd escape its touch. Now there's nothing left to ground me. Never thought I'd ache this much. Draw me a point to start from. Draw me the will to still go on. Drawn, it's meant to have spent a lifetime drawing a life whose light is gone. I'm really bad at committing to friendship. I'm really good at casual stuff. I'm really bad at saying I'm sorry. I'm really not good at giving enough. Draw me a heart to love a lover. Draw me the soul to love a friend. Draw me a seed of caring. Draw me a way to see the end. But I can't draw the things I need now. I can't draw the life to last. I can't draw a healthy cell count. I can't draw a brand new past. From the first time space has a boundary, as I watch each moment slip by. With no sex, no drugs, no frantic dance, I can live, laugh, love, or lie. Please let me move, can't take it no more. Please let me out, draw me a door.
2, 3, 4, 1.
He's an overnight sensation. He's the darling of the day. He's a cause for celebration. He's on track and on his way. He's a thrilling combination. He is totally unique. He's the latest revelation. He's the flavor of the week. Suddenly everyone knows his name. Here comes fortune and fame, unrelenting acclaim. Each people-friendly scribble shows his talent and technique. So the